What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And Comolli is it's something else. It's refreshing. He is extremely open, and I want to say the media is gonna love him, but he doesn't love the media in certain ways because he called them basically fake. He called them out. He stole the show. In the presser for Zegrova and Openda, but it's different than what we are used to. He's somebody who communicates openly, is accepting the questions, is actually giving you all the answers before the journalist actually has an opportunity to ask the question. He's giving you that information. And he also added that despite the difficulties, he believes the team is stronger. He praised basically Alcon for making an effort so we can improve the team, and he believes in this team. So we're going to talk about all of that, but he called out the media. He was not happy with it, and we're going to get into that first. Okay, first, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I forgot to say that, but definitely like the video because it helps out the channel more than you can actually imagine as well. But Comolli spoke and he called the media fake. He didn't say it literally, but he was, he wasn't asked. He said the story about PSG being pissed and Al-Khalafi saying, basically telling the media or leaking to the media that we're not going to do business, or he stepped in and saying you're taking the piss out of us, we will remember what you did, etc. You know the story. Now, really quickly, I think PSG is not happy with Juve. I don't think that anyone would believe that it's not the case. However, Comolli said it's fake. He said, don't believe everything you read in the media. It's just nonsense, basically, and it's not correct. It's not accurate, and it's basically stirring up a pot that shouldn't be up. It shouldn't be stirred. Now, that being said, we talked about it all summer. The media, linking us to this player, linking us to that player, and he talked about Zigrov and Openda. He said, what everybody believes, we couldn't bring these players in earlier because we were tied, basically. The timing was what the timing was, and I kind of believe him because we wanted Colomani. It didn't happen, so they needed to jump on somebody else. And for Nico Gonzalez, we needed to have some sort of assurance that his wages are off the books and maybe, a loan with an option, etc., before we can, bring in Zegrova, because we had too many players in the squad, the wage bill, etc. Like, we just had too many players as well, period. It's as simple as that. So I do see that point, but also maybe, you should have moved or pushed certain players a bit more out of the door. But then again, it was only Atletico and they had troubles to register Nico Gonzalez themselves. But what I found refreshing was that he just threw it out all the table before actually the real questions came in, and he basically said, and actually the entire summer he was very open. He said one winger will come in if somebody else leave. Vlahovic, we will talk with him, and if an offer comes in, we talked about it, but if he stays, we're extremely happy with that. He talked about it again. He said, well, cool, he stayed, and that's what it is. So he's extremely open, and I think, the work he will do, we will judge in a year from now, 2 years from now. So there's no evidence from that right now. We cannot say, is he doing a good job on the players he recruited, the balance sheet, whatever. We cannot really say that right now. We can hypothesize. Damn it. We can imagine. Let me use imagine. We can imagine. We can imagine how it will look in a couple of years. However, what I think a lot of people will appreciate, being in the fan base, being at the club, being at agents, is that he's extremely transparent. He's extremely open. Even though Timothy Weah agent came out and called out probably somebody else other than Comolli at this stage. At first I thought it was Comolli, but right now I find it a bit more difficult to believe it's Comolli. But then again, he had a plan. I want that amount of money for those players. If the money's not coming in, they're staying. They're just staying. Even though the valuations is low for certain players, but it's due to circumstances. If the money's not coming in, these players are not moving. They're just going to stay put. So that's one part of it. And the second part, he's very open. He speaks about, if Vlahovic has an offer, fine, we will look at it, and because we discussed it with it, the possibility of leaving. But if not, we're happy for him to stay. No issues. So I think as an agent, as a player, I think they will appreciate that. They will see it as, okay, this is a situation. They want to move me out, but they're not forcing me out. So if I found a solution for myself, I can leave. If not, this club will not, make it a big story, etc. The second part is that he said this team is strong enough, and I think there was more of a reaction towards all the talk about we have so many holes in the squad, etc. But he said we did our best. The plan was to keep our best players, the players we believe in that can make a difference. And he said we succeeded in that. And I think he's talking about the Yildiz and the Turam and those type of players. He said we did that job. That's one part of the job. And then he said we added as much as we could add it. We added quality that will take this team a further step ahead. And I think we added quality. I think nobody's debating that, but I think he came up with that first, before actually taking all the real questions, because I think he knows the talk of, Kostic is there and Rugani is there. They're not really going to play. Are they there just to be there? The backups in certain areas are not there. So, if we have an injury like now or suspension, we are in trouble. But he kind of covered it by saying, I thank Alcon, or he thank ownership Alcon, and saying that they invested, they made an effort basically, to help me basically help improve the team. That's what he was trying to say, So the statement, in my opinion, is also very clear. He basically told the world, we as a club believe the squad is good enough. It's good enough to do something. And a lot of fans don't agree with it. I believe the squad is good enough to be better than last season. They should be better than last season. I think there are more possibilities, but it's not to the extent of we're gonna dominate and this is amazing and wow, we definitely need to win with this squad. It's bank on. If you don't win with the squad, unbelievable. I don't think anyone is saying that, obviously, but he was covering himself saying we did the best of the job possible. And I can appreciate the honesty. I can appreciate the fact that he told the world, this is it, and don't really ask the questions. We did what we had to do. But the fact that he called out the media, I thought was extremely interesting, because he's very open to the media, and maybe it's a good thing, basically telling, I'm giving you everything you want. I'm being extremely transparent. Just don't make up things. Don't exaggerate things. Maybe there is an issue with PSG, but not to this extent. Do not do that. Otherwise, this might stop, me being transparent, and you will get the box standard answers. And actually, nobody is winning with that. Not the fans, not the club, not the media, anyone, because the stories will be extremely unbelievable week in, week out. So that's what he was saying. Anyways, in the comments, do you like how transparent he is? Do you like how he sets himself up, presents himself to the media and the fans? And do you actually believe in the way he's handling business? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Or no, later today, and then also tomorrow. Ciao.